It is August. We are firing drafts multiple times a day, whether on stream or not, starting to fill out these contests. And speaking of filling out contests, there's one that might overlay a little bit. We're not sure how much, but we'll get into it. Today, we are going to draft a drafters championship team. Let's get it.
Three, two, one, liftoff.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Olaf, Michael, Josh is in here, Quasi, everyone else that's here. Good morning. Time to jump into one of our Sunday morning Sickos drafts. And today we are going to dive into drafters. And what I want to do for drafters to begin with is let's just kind of talk about the rules very, very fast for those that may be unaware of what drafters is. It is sort of an alternative to Underdog and DraftKings. They do things a little bit different, which is good. I like that there is a bunch of different types of contests that you can enter. Good morning, Nick. How are you doing this fine morning? Um, so Drafters is not available in PA. Sorry, Josh, that sucks. So Drafters has two main tournaments that they run. There's a $3 and a $20. And the difference between Drafters and every other site is Drafters is cumulative scoring. So basically, there is no playoff system. At the end of the year, the best team wins, basically. You're just piling up points and hoping to win. And we put Jalen Hurts on the cover because I think the team that won last year, if I remember correctly, was a Jalen Hurts team with no other quarterback, and they like took 3-0s and still just crushed and won the tournament. Um, so let's enter it because sometimes these take a little bit longer to fill. Well, you know what? Let's just go over the structure real quick. So again, it's cumulative scoring. You're looking week 1 through 17. There's no playoff format. You're not trying to win a playoff pod, which means week 17 stacking non-existent really in this. I mean, you can still do it. It's not outlawed, but you gotta you don't have to do it. First place is 300,000. Second place is 150,000. Third place is 100,000. Then we get to 75,000. So pretty flat payouts, which is always something that I like. And right now, there is a little over 21,000 people in it. The max entrance is a little over 111,000. So that's why we're thinking there might be some overlay. There could be a push at the end, but probably going to be a little bit of overlay. So if you are chasing overlay, this is the tournament to probably do it and to start firing. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And we need a full plethora of people right now in order to get this going. So we will kill some time for a little bit while we wait. And if for some reason it doesn't fill, I just missed the fill. God damn it. Oh well. My audio is cutting in and out. Okay, so it wasn't me. It wasn't me. All right, cool. Yeah, so we can we'll kill some time while we wait for this to fill up. Anyways, did anyone do anything amazing over the weekend? I will start. Last night I went to, of all places, on a Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. I went to the Museum of Science in Boston. And I went to a laser show that was celebrating the 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon from Pink Floyd. So they played the whole album, did this laser show in the planetarium. It's pretty cool. They're doing it all year. And the craziest thing, it was a lot of fun, but tickets were only $10 a person to go out in Boston. And I was just kind of floored by that. Oh, you saw Oppenheimer? I want to see that as well. I think I'm waiting for that. to come out on video. 3-hour movies at the theater are starting to kick my ass when I go, so I'm not doing that quite as much. Other thing, oh, J Mike set up a new TV yesterday. Got a smart TV. Yeah, those are fun. I had to set up quite a lot of TVs, even though I wasn't supposed to. I was back in my younger days a technician for Comcast. Um, Actually, Jesse, I said we should have went to your restaurant, but it was time constraint stuff last night. We actually could only stop and get appetizers on our way into Boston. So that's that. What was I about to bring up? Oh, so if it has anyone been following, it's been one episode, the Mastiff episode for Underdog that I'm doing on my own, the $1,000 buy-in. We are one away from picking, so I'll probably be recording the next video for that and dropping it either later today or tomorrow. Hopefully later today. That's what I'm planning on anyways. I'm going to give this a little bit longer. We will see just how long we're looking here. Yeah, we only need 3 more right now. So if you're looking to do the Drafters Championship, it's time. Good. I would have wanted you to kick me out. So we should be recording that Mastiff draft today. That'll be a lot of fun. I know where I would like to go with it, but we need somebody to fall, and I'm not sure he's going to. So we'll see if it actually happens. And if he doesn't fall, even if he does fall, we have massive decisions to make because there's 2 players that I want to get, and I don't think one of them is going to fit quite structurally. So we will see. It's going to be interesting. If you want to hop in this drafters draft, again, we only needed 3 more people when I just checked. So we can get this ball rolling, draft in the drafters championship, talk through it. Have I even drafted on drafters yet? I was waiting till August because I knew we were going to be doing a bunch of drafters content. Perhaps a mistake. Oh, Quasi is maxing all. Oh, you can only play on drafters, so maxing all those. Did I see the Jose Ramirez knockout? I did not. I heard briefly about it this morning, so I'm going to have to go look that up. That is something I'll have to gander. I actually did MMA last night, DFS MMA. Never do that, and actually cashed, so that was fun. Did a $100 single entry. I think that Jose Ramirez was the baseball one, right? If I recall. Let's get this drafters draft filled. If we fill it, if we finish by 11, I will do a draft on Underdog or DraftKings, whichever one people want, if people want a second draft. But this has to fill. We have to get this rolling and done so that we can do that. So if you want to jump in drafters, go ahead, get it done. And it looks like we did fill. So that is good. Sorry, give me 1 second to get into this. And then we will pull it up. Maybe. Told me we filled on my phone. Come on. All right, so I'm pulling it up now. Where are we? Oh, of course. I mean, it just doesn't matter the site. We are in the 9 hole. So bear with me as I get reacquainted with the drafters layout here because it's been a bit. Yeah, I thought I had fired one of these early, and apparently I didn't. Apparently, I'm just making things up. So here we are. And it wouldn't be a Sicko Sunday if we didn't just start firing some music, right? So let's do that. Let's adjust our desktop here. Let's go with that volume level. All right. So we are going to be drafting from the 9 hole here. Who do we got in here? Who do I know? Who do I know? Olaf saw Adam Ezra from Boston and Ann Arbor. Was a great show. Nice, nice. Michael Zimmerman is in the 3 spot. Very cool. So see Zimmerman. Don't really. Quasi's in here as well. We see Quasi. Anyone else in here? Let us know if you want to let us know. Clearly, your prerogative to try to remain anonymous. So we do see Jefferson, Chase, McCaffrey, Tyreek, Travis Kelce go off the board right away. Gerardo is in the 12 hole. We've got Adam Fritz in the 6 hole. So we are doing. Oh, and we have the winner from last year. Apparently, Nick in the 5 spot won it last year. Makes sense. He has entered 130 of these contests already. So kudos to him. Gonna go with a slightly quieter volume on the music. Let me know how that is for everybody. We see Kelsey, Cup, Diggs. Oh, well, you're confusing me here, Quasi. So apparently he just does 1 quarterback builds. All right, so I would like to grab AJ Brown here because why not? Why not lean into our wide receiver builds like we normally do? I was considering Bijan, of course. I just kind of want to see what the quarterback ADPs are. Looks like they are typically starting to go right at that 2-3 turn based on their average ADP according to this. So the question becomes, how often are people getting the AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts stack? Probably not too frequently, right? But I think that's something we are going to bypass for now, especially with this being cumulative scoring. I do think you still want some team stacking stuff, obviously, but it's just we're not worrying about game stacks. So I'm going to grab Tony Pollard, who I think is the best value on board. I think he has RB1 overall upside, of course, this year. And it looks like he's going a little earlier in these drafters drafts, but I still think every other year he would have been a first rounder. He would have been a first rounder pretty much every other year. So we will take AJ Brown, we'll take Tony Pollard, and then we will see how things shake out here as we continue. Zach says he's been intentionally trying to take more Pollard lately. Got to get his exposure up. So my exposure for Pollard, I had been already basically making sure that I got him. Let me see if I can pull up what I got for him through our handy dandy Spike Week site. But I was grabbing him a lot early. So back when you could get him basically end of 2-3 turns, sometimes in the 3, back when Chubb was going there as well. I was grabbing him. So in Best Ball Mania right now, I have, let's see, Tony Pollard. Why is it? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, I don't want the combo. I know my Pollard exposure is relatively high. I'm trying to do the wrong thing. Good for me. Good for me just messing this all up. So I woke up a lot later than I normally would. So I have 17% Pollard in Best Ball Mania currently. And let's go over to DraftKings and see what I've been doing with him over there. We'll just look at the big. Actually, I'll look at all tournaments. It's not that different. And for Pollard on DK, I have 15%. I actually want to be a little higher on that personally. But the problem for me is I already want the quarterbacks as well. So I'm high on Mahomes. I have a decent clip of Hurts. And I want to be overweight on Pollard. I'm really playing a dangerous game, which I am fine playing, where I'm not getting a lot of players in the second round that I would like to have more exposure to, because I want to be overweight on Pollard. I want to be overweight on the quarterbacks. So we can talk about this a little bit more in a second. I think what I'd like to do here is grab Ramondre. And I think Ramondre is a very interesting talking point this year. It's actually making me laugh listening to the analysis of people that are getting scared to draft Ramondre Stevenson, because it's, oh, a veteran come in. They had Damian Harris last year. Imagine if they're basically just replacing the Damian Harris role. Ramondre is going to be fine. Like, yeah, the Patriots offense isn't the greatest. So we already know what the Patriots offense is. We know what Ramondre's role is going to be. Getting scared about Ramondre's role because a veteran might come in is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, to be completely honest. Yes, Jesse, this glitch happens all the time. So basically, you can still draft your player, but you have to exit out of the draft. At least this is what I found. If you're on your phone, you have to like close the application, open it back up. Yeah, that could have possibly been. So Zach, that is something we do talk about, and I'm not saying you weren't listening or anything, but when you're drafting early, you have to try to figure out what is going to be exploitable, and we can't always predict that. But if you're seeing like late second, early third round Nick Chubb, I thought that wasn't going to be sustainable. So I ended up grabbing a ton of that situation. I think I'm going to grab Breece Hall. I mean, it just feels like the right thing to do here. Breece Hall in the fourth. Let's get 3 RBs. Let's just do it. AJ Brown with Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, and Breece Hall. This is cumulative scoring. I think we can find wide receivers later. I think we can get still a good quarterback if we wanted to. We'll figure it out. Yeah, and this was the other point I was going to bring up. Josh says that the Pats offense sucked last year and Ramondre still produced. Yeah, I think it's all so silly. I think the Ramondre stuff's silly. Personally. We went with the pink drink today. A little strawberry lemonade action. Yeah, I woke up later than normal. Usually I'm up like by 7:30 on Sundays. And I woke up at like 8:45. So we had to break a little bit of our normal routine. All right. Let's fire a new song. Anyways, if you're in the Boston area, or if one of your little Museum of Science situations close to you is offering a laser show for $10. Highly suggest doing it. It's a nice little experience. Speaking of laser shows, we're going to win this whole fucking tournament today. Laser show. Jesse, what are you doing? What are we doing here? It's either contest or lineups and enter draft. It's very simple. Don't you work here? Zach says that he fell into the wide receiver avalanche early on, but it's a good lesson to learn for next season. Yes and no, because I think everyone will tell you that the last 3 seasons of best ball, the draft landscape has always been different. So it's not about like strategy based on one thing. It's about understanding what's happening in the draft and adjusting to that, basically. So we have learned that the wide receivers were coming early on. We're getting drafted early on all the sites, and they still are. It was even more egregious like 2 months ago. Will that be the case next year? Most likely. I think that is going to be most likely the case next year. So it's just how do you adjust to it? I was doing a lot of hero RB builds early with Pollard, with Nick Chubb. You were getting Nick Chubb in the 3rd round. When do we do a live stream draft for DK? I mix them in on Sundays, and we do them throughout the week here and there, depending on the schedule for the week. If this finishes by 11, we are going to do one more draft today. It will either be DraftKings or Underdog. So if we can get this fixed, then if we can get this finished by 11, we'll do another draft. All right, we do see Herbert go. I think that was going to be my play here, but because he's gone, let's grab a wide receiver. Let's grab JSN. God, he's coming pretty early on drafters, huh? We'll grab JSN. Start hitting this wide receiver front. Quasi got his stack, which was the Herbert stack. Yeah, he got Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. Yeah, good for you, because I was going to definitely probably swoop Herbert up. That was probably a way we were going to try to figure out how to backdoor stack Herbert on this. So smart of you to grab him where you did, because now I don't have an elite quarterback, and I am afraid. I am so afraid. I don't have my the only reason I don't have my overlay up is because this is my first draft, and theoretically I should be having it up anyways, but you're not going to see anything, right? Like, you're going to just see a bunch of 0% if I do have the overlay up. But going forward on drafters, I will put the overlay up. So, okay, we can take George Kittle here. I think that might be the play, considering we missed out on this elite quarterback range. We might as well get our elite tight end. So let's do that. We're playing a dangerous game with the wide receivers because we only have A.J. Brown and JSN right now. But the team, for those that are listening, is A.J. Brown, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, JSN, and George Kittle currently. So that's what we're looking at the moment. Yeah, again, I'll have it up for the next draft. I'm still reacquainting myself with the drafters site as a whole, to be honest. So theoretically, I probably should have jumped into one draft before I did the stream today and just got reacquainted with it. But yesterday was a busy day. Yesterday was a very busy day. So was not able to do it. And did not do it this morning, obviously. So the other thing just to be aware of is drafters is 20 rounds. So sort of like DK there. which for cumulative scoring, I think makes a lot of sense. I think 20 rounds for cumulative is probably smart. For sure. Let me, while I'm sitting here, let's just check on this Mastiff. So the guy in front of me has 6 hours on the clock currently. I'm not saying he'll take his full 6 hours, but he does have 6 hours to make his pick, so we will be making those two selections in the Mastiff today. And I am debating on if I would like to fire a second Mastiff at some point. Debating on it. Slightly no, but we might. Kay is saying that their hardest thing for them to do in a draft is to pivot while they're drafting. For example, I would go into a draft wanting to stack Buffalo or Kansas City and would get the part of the stack, but get sniped for the other. You should have it in your mind that these are things you want to do, but you shouldn't focus on doing that for one specific draft, if that makes sense. Like, you should be like, I know I want to get, let's just say you were like, I want to get a team with Buffalo and Kansas City. Make it an option for one of your next 5 to 10 drafts or something like that. Don't go into a single draft trying to do a specific thing, because then you're going to panic mode it, right? You got to kind of be flexible more so than anything, which I know is like kind of a stock answer, but it is the right answer. Being flexible is the right answer. All right, so we are going to be coming back on the clock here very shortly. See Sherman from the 7-hole set up his Lamar stack with Zay Flowers. Quasi is back on the clock here. I see him go David Montgomery. We need to go wide receiver here. I think I like 4 drafters in this particular spot. I think I like Cortland Sutton a bit more. So I think we're going to go Cortland Sutton. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything else that I like here. Yeah, so let's go Sutton. I love it, Low Star. I would say, so Love Star is saying that they have 94 entry in this and max the $3 one. And are saying they think they might want to max this tournament. I think if you already have 94, let's not have auto pick on. What do we do in here, drafters? After one auto pick, we get put on auto pick. What I would say is that if you have 94 entries already, and the money's not a concern, because I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money if you don't have the money to max it. Like, play by your bankroll. But if you have the bankroll to max this tournament after already having 94 entries, that would be something I would do. I'm not going to max it because this is literally my first tournament on this one. So I'm not going to have the time to get 150 entries into this tournament. But that was a mistake on my part. I should have been firing drafters much earlier in the season, to be completely honest. I'm going to grab Bateman. I still have Bateman on my rankings a lot higher than others, so we'll grab Bateman here. What's going on, Sam? Sam's in the chat. Sam says, "What's up, Rob? Happy Sunday." Sam Sherman over from ADP Chasing, which is a show that I do listen to every week. Got any strategy tips for drafters? Feels like purely draft the best plays compared to other sites. I feel like that is pretty much the way that I'm looking at it as well. So for me, we're kind of going ABC theoretically by taking ADP, I already noticed what I want to do is just get a little bit of different combinations. So grabbing AJ Brown in the first round here is something that I'll want to do towards the back end. I'll want to stack him with Jalen Hurts because it feels like if Hurts's ADP is all the way over here consistently, then a different stack is AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts. Maybe flipping the build here and there. But yeah, play the best plays. I won't be overstacking teams either. Probably do double stacks or stuff like that. But yeah, drafters is something I'm going to be working through a little bit more as I play it a bit more and kind of figuring out what I want to do. It's kind of a journey we're all going to be doing together on drafters this month. Michael says I can max enter it. Just draft 10 at a time and don't sleep. Yeah, I mean that is something I could do. I won't do it, but it is a good idea. Are we still drafting risers like Madison? I regret drafting him because our teams with him at a cheaper price. Yeah, but the price isn't substantially cheaper in my opinion. He seemed to go a little high here. What did he go? The 5th round here? No, he went in the 6th round. So right at the 5-6 turn there. I'm still drafting Madison because I don't think that he moved up as far as he should have moved up. Like, I mean, I think he should be like a 4th rounder. And for some reason, the industry is just kind of down on Madison. And Madison's playoff schedule is actually really good. If I remember it offhand, it is, I think they're at Cincinnati for week 15. Shit, who are they? They're in a dome. They're at home for week 16 against a pretty good opponent. It might be Detroit. And then week 17, they're in the dome against Green Bay. So like the Vikings playoff schedule is great. And obviously we're not looking at that for here, but I just think overall Madison has the role we want him to have. We've wanted him to have it for 3 years now, 2 years, whatever it's been. He finally gets it and everyone's like, nah, we're good. Nah, we're just good. We just don't need him. Like he's fine. He sucks. He went from a must, and I understand it was for like price purposes. We grabbed Daniel Jones, by the way, to grab a QB here. I understand it like usually was for price purposes and stuff, but we were still slamming Madison when like the price would go up here and there. I just don't get it. B. Kurt has been playing this a bit more. He says, as far as strategy, I've been super focused on what his opponents are doing. 37% are doing a 3-6-8-3 build. And the next build closest is 11%. I'm looking for edges like that. That's a good tip. Michael is saying, I feel like you are one of those people who would 16 table on Poker Stars back in the day. I think my max amount of tables per time back in the day when I could multi-table poker was, I think I would get 4. I think I did 6 a few times, but I think 4 was kind of my sweet spot. Again, Black Friday happened. God, how old was I when Black Friday happened? It was like 2010, something like that. So I was much younger. My bankroll was not a thing then. But we were supposed to be on a poker reality show. I don't know if I've ever talked about that. All right, so we are back on the clock here. I think we still need to be finding wide receivers that make a lot of sense. Jameson Williams is still a 10th round pick on drafters. That seems bad. Seems like an easy fade on drafters. Nico. God, if we're just looking for points, I guess we're gonna grab Nico. I was considering looking at Juju for this, which is not something I love, but just based on our build where we're like kind of punted wide receiver for the most part, Juju would be probably sustainable points for a decent amount of weeks. You know, nothing massive, but someone that can make sure that we get that 10 to 12 points or something like that. Yeah, so it was 2010. I was 25. Yeah, I'm old as fuck. I was 51. That is correct, Jesse. I was 51. But I was supposed to be on a poker reality show with Dan Bilzerian, Antonio Esfandiari, Brian Rast. It was for Victory Poker. So that video still exists. If you find it, it's still out there. I had a lot less tattoos for that submission video. Is Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs a steal in the beginning of the third? In what format? In this format? Is that where he went? Let's see. Derrick Henry went in the second round here. Josh Jacobs went in the third. I think if you're into Josh Jacobs, which I am not this year, then yes, he is a steal. It's just, I guess, I'm just out on the Raiders as a whole for the most part. So I won't be drafting Josh Jacobs. I don't care that he slid around. It's fine. You guys can have him. I'm going to stay with my 0% Josh Jacobs. Derrick Henry is a guy that I do like, but he's Derrick Henry, right? Like, we know what Derrick Henry can do. He can rip off 250 yards, destroy people, and ruin your day quickly in a lot of formats. But again, it goes back for me particularly. There's guys that I really like in the second round that I'm trying to get overweight on. So that kind of nullifies my exposure to other guys. So it becomes like a soft fade situation. Like, I like Christian McCaffrey, but I like all the wide receivers around him. So I'm sort of soft fading Christian McCaffrey. I've still grabbed some, but these are guys that we're talking about, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, that I won't be overweight on when you look at my portfolio. Sir, I don't know. I'm in a 10-man PPR league. Who should I get with my pick 5? I don't know, dude. Like, I'd have to know who fell to you, I guess. All right, so I think what we will do here is we will just stack up Denver and grab Russell Wilson as a second QB. Michael Zimmerman just picked Juju. He's in shambles. Yeah, it's never a fun click. I think I've had to do it less than 5 times this year. But there are certain builds that Juju just makes sense on, especially on full point PPR. DraftKings is one I've done it on a few times based on like trying to go with hyper fragile builds a little bit more when I do them, which is not often. But when I do a hyper fragile build and I'm still getting like an elite QB or a tight end, Juju kind of makes sense because I'm looking for players that have some sort of floor with no ceiling just to get points on the board to mix in with receivers that just have extreme ceilings. So we're kind of yo-yoing the position a little bit, and he's never a fun name to click. You're always looking. Even when you have him, you're always like, all right, let's find anyone else. And sometimes you just can't find anyone else. You're just like, fuck, I guess I'll take Juju Smith-Schuster for the New England Patriots and go watch him waddle his way, and not Jalen Waddle, literally waddle his way on some sort of 3-yard in or 3-yard out route. And you're just like, shit, man, this is terrible. Let's go ahead and stack Daniel Jones with Isaiah Hodgins. Let's pull that sweet little maneuver. Get a New York stack. And your brain just automatically goes to, I have this New York stack. Now I got to get a Rams bring back. And we just don't have to. That is a beautiful thing. So the roster currently, we have Daniel Jones and Russell Wilson. We have Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, A.J. Brown, JSN, Cortland Sutton stacked with Russell Wilson, Rashad Bateman, Nico Collins, Isaiah Hodgins for our Daniel Jones stack. And at tight end, we have George Kittle Not a bad little start here. I don't hate it. Obviously, wide receiver is the weaker spot, but I think we are making up for it with some volume. So that is something that I do particularly like. Yeah, I don't understand this either, Sam. He says, shout out to drafters for getting pictures for rookies, which is apparently impossible for underdog and DK. I don't understand. So I'll just shit on whatever company, because whatever. These sites that can't get rookie pictures, right? Like they can't get that updated. And sometimes we still see players in their uniform from 4 teams ago. Like you're just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, Dalvin Cook's going to be in a Vikings uniform on his picture this year, no matter where he signs. Leonard Fournette, hell, we might still have Jacksonville Jaguars Leonard Fournette. I haven't looked, but it's unreal. Like, let's do it. Let's fix that. You have a team that should be able to update that relatively quick. I say that, and we do see Adam Thielen still in his Vikings jersey. But kudos to them for getting the actual rookie photos. Good call. Good call, Sam. Michael says LSU jersey Fournette. I do love that he still wears his LSU shoulder pads. If you ever look, he still wears those shoulder pads. Quasi, you're mean. We were going to go with Alec Pierce right here for this pick. I think, considering we have the stack, we are going to go ahead and grab Marvin Mims, which is what I would like to do here. So we get our double stack with Russell Wilson. An 8th round pick, Sam? I mean, he looks like if anyone has that dog in him, it's Jonathan Mingo in this photo, right? Let's see if I have time. Let's see if we can. Ooh, Drafters doesn't let me. There we go. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Someone took him. Now I can't look at him. There he is. Look at that. Oh, no, he's a 5th rounder based on photo alone. Photo alone, he's a 5th rounder. I have to disagree. I think he's higher. I was trying to think of the other guy who you could always see his shoulder pads. You would always see the shoulder pads, and it is a different team. I do like Shaheed here, but I'm wondering if the right play is actually just Brock Purdy, who apparently is having the worst camp of his life. What a rush. Let's get our 3rd quarterback. Let's grab Brock Purdy. So we'll do a 3 quarterback build with Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Brock Purdy over here. And we'll be done at QB. That's probably an interesting question. Like, what is the cutoff line more so on 2 QBs on drafters than it is on other sites, is what I would be wondering. Something that I would want to look into a little bit more. All right, what do we want to play here, Jesse? What do we have for songs? I think Octane's fine. What's going on, Johnny? Quasi said that I was for sure going to take Campbell with the camp reports. Yeah, I mean, I was going to look at Campbell. There was someone else I was looking at here as well. I did not know that Jalen Hyatt was going to be going in round 14. So being unfamiliar with the ADP is a big disadvantage for me right now of drafters. So when I'm thinking Hyatt, my brain goes to I can still get him. generally somewhere between the 15th and 17th round in the other two sites. He's kind of been, I've been seeing him go at a wide range, but he was someone that I was going to start looking for in the 15th, and maybe I should have just scrolled down a bit and saw where he was going. Would have been the smart play, but we didn't. We were too busy judging Jonathan Mingo based on his photo, and he's a 5th rounder. So the funny thing about Jalen Hyatt is he was one of my most drafted players early, which I was getting. He's like he's technically my worst drafted player based on where he was going earlier in drafts before his big fall. And now he's got his comeback coming. So basically I was getting a bad price, but I had a lot of him. So I'm still drafting Jalen Hyatt. Now I had cooled off a little bit on him, but I'll keep grabbing him. But people were like really down on Hyatt, and now all of a sudden he's getting steamed up again. So, you know, it is what it is. All right, so we have 3 QBs. We have 3 running backs, but we have 3 good running backs. We have 7 wideouts, 1 tight end. We do have 20 rounds to sort of land this plane into what we want. We'll go over the team after the next 2 picks. For now, though, we need to figure out what we want to do here. What do we want to do? Yeah. Let's get... Do we want to just grab Chuba? Let's grab Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel. That brings us to 8 wide receivers, I believe. So we do have the 8 wideouts. Ooh, we're going to have to get this draft going pretty quickly if we want to do a second draft here. But we have 8 wideouts. We have 3 running backs, 3 quarterbacks, 1 tight end, 55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 shakes, 110 patties. Michael has 30% Chuba on underdog this year. Feels a bit uncomfy. Good news. You have about 5 weeks to lower it if you're not happy with it. Oh my God. God damn it. Gerardo taking Fournette. Fournette was kind of my safety net for this next pick. So a bit uncomfortable. Yeah. Why are we doing Macho Man bad impersonations today? Why is that a thing at this moment? I mean, I do it on my own. You're seeing some of the madness that comes out when I am sitting around just doing things by myself. Let's go back to the top of this list. Let's just play the Spike Week song. How about that? How about we do that? That makes sense. That makes sense. Thoughts on Mark Andrews this season? So I think Mark Andrews is a good pick across the board. Definitely a good pick on drafters, where you probably want more of these elite tight ends since it's cumulative scoring. I like Mark Andrews. I'm not another guy that I'm not overweight on. I'm actually relatively underweight. It's, again, I'm taking extreme stances on guys in those first, like, in that 2 to 3 round range. So some guys are getting soft faded when I particularly am not interested in. I don't want to be fading them, but because of what I want to do with other players, I have to. And those are the decisions you have to make. But I like Mark Andrews. I like the Baltimore offense a ton. I've come around in a big way on Baltimore. So not liking Baltimore would be really silly. I mean, not liking Mark Andrews when I like Baltimore would be silly. Damani is trying to target Musgrave and Ferguson in 3 tight end bills before more training camp steam. Well, do I have news for you? There was a point where Ferguson was my most drafted tight end by quite a bit, to the point that I literally had to physically stop taking him because it was just getting too high. Let me see what I'm at on Ferguson now. So on Underdog, I was at like 28%. I've managed to scale that down to 11%, but I might scale it back up to, 13% or something like that. Semantic numbers, like end of the day, 11, 13%. Not huge. The point is I want to be over 8%, but I don't want to be at like 20% on him. I like him. The Musgrave steam is already underway. That is accurate. Musgrave was a guy I was mixing in. Let me just check my Underdog exposure. So I have 9% on Musgrave right now on Underdog. Let's see what I got on DraftKings for these guys. Luke Musgrave, 11%. Consistency. I am nothing if not consistent. 16% Ferguson on DK. So getting them both at a high clip. A little bit easier, obviously, on DK because you were able to grab him in the 19th, 20th round in the beginning of drafts somewhat. But those are guys that I was targeting. And you got to remember what I was doing early. Let's grab a falling Juwan Johnson. That seems fun. Oh, we never went over the team either. Why? Because I might be the worst host of all time. Of all time. God, we got to ship a tournament this year. Have to win one of these tournaments. But my whole thing was I was doing a lot of late tight end builds early. I was like doing complete fade of elite tight ends. I've since changed my philosophy a bit on that, which is something you can do as the drafts go on and you start to look at things in a different light. Be open to adjusting if you feel like you need to adjust. I felt like I needed to adjust on tight ends. Was it fine? What I was doing? Sure. But I thought that I wanted some more of the elite tight ends. We do see Musgrave go. Perhaps we grab Jake Ferguson now. Perhaps that is the play as we talk about it. Why? Because the alternative is Robert Woods. Gross. Hunter Henry is there as well for tight end. Let's go ahead and queue up Jake Ferguson. And then there's some stuff that we're going to do towards the end of the draft. So we'll do 3 tight ends. Why did we do 3 tight ends? Okay, Kittle. You guys got in my head. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. We have 20 rounds. We have 20 rounds. We have 4 running backs, but there are 3 really good ones. So our team currently, Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Brock Purdy at quarterback, running back, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, Gus Edwards, wide receiver, A.J. Brown, JSN, Cortland Sutton, and Marvin Mims are the 2 Denver wide receivers we have for our Russell Wilson stack. We have Rashad Bateman. We have Nico Collins. We have Isaiah Hodgins to go with Daniel Jones. We have Curtis Samuel at tight end, George Kittle to go with that Brock Purdy for a stack, Juwan Johnson, and Jake Ferguson. Do we have to talk about week 17 correlation? No. Do we have to take off auto pick? Yes, we do. Because otherwise, we probably end up drafting Ryan Tannehill when he comes back around. We are just forgetting about our pink drink. Ooh, guys, we're getting close. We have 6 minutes to finish this draft to fire another one. Strong stash game from Musgrave. Yes. And as we know, if you have a strong stash game, that is an automatic 6-pick bump. You just automatically get bumped up 6 picks if your facial hair is on point. Damani, we all make mistakes like this. This is something that all of us have done, where we look at stuff and we could go certain ways. It happens. Zimmerman is saying that the last 2 rounds of DK tournaments is a tight end frenzy for him. Agreed. We definitely need another RB. Is there any wide receivers we like at all? You know what? Let's grab the camp hero. Let's grab Mac Hollins. I know where I want to go with my last pick. And if one of you snipe him, we are going to just absolutely fight to the death. Will my last pick be controversial? Of course it will be. Who doesn't have controversial 20th round picks? Words, can we say them? Sometimes. Sunday mornings, not always. Also, Mac Hollins is that week 17 correlation for our Brock Purdy stack. So, suck it, stat nerds. We still did a week 17 correlation. We probably did more than one. What is the problem with our team? We didn't draft one Kansas City Chief. This team is now dead to me. Just absolutely dead. Come on, Gerardo, pick. Can you just do what I want you to do, computer? No? Thank you for that. Michael, it was a joke, just so you know. 'Twas a joke. Some people are going to say I should not draft Malik Davis here. What I say to some people is I drafted Malik Davis, and I'm fine with it. I know I have Tony Pollard. I'm aware. I'm aware of that situation. But we just lock up that Dallas backfield. I'm big on Malik Davis this year. I know I have Tony Pollard. We are making sure that we are getting the majority of the backfield points. It cost us a 20th round pick to handcuff Tony Pollard. We have the hiccups. Let's go over our team. Start voting in the chat. Start voting in the chat if you want to do a DK or an underdog team. We will do one after this. All right, so at quarterback, we have Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Brock Purdy. Running back, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, Gus Edwards, Malik Davis. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Cortland Sutton, Rashad Bateman, Nico Collins, Isaiah Hodgins, Marvin Mims, Curtis Samuel, Mac Hollins. Tight end, George Kittle, Juwan Johnson, and Jake Ferguson. All right, so we'll let this draft finish out. We have 2 votes for T-Gay. We have 2 votes for underdog. Get them in, get them in, get them in. I'm not going to do another drafters just because sometimes it takes a bit for those to fill. We got a third underdog. We've got a third underdog. I'm going to close the vote in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh my God, 3. We have 3 DK, 3 underdog. Next one that pops in the chat, I will do. How about that? Next one that I see in the chat, I will do. I have 3 of each. Somebody throw something in the chat. All right. Actually, we get DK. So DK is the next one. Let's do a DraftKings draft. You guys are doing these 20 round ones to me. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Let's go NFL. Let's go best ball. And we'll do one of these $10 boys. We'll do another one of these $10 millies. We are in. We are 4 out of 12. If you want to enter this tournament with me, you have plenty of time. And this is where you will definitely see my overlay, see my exposures. You can laugh at me about some of them if you would like. Do I have an inordinate amount of MVS? Yes. I say MV yes. And I just got canceled. We'll see you all never again. DK Millie number 40 for Mike. This is like 86, 87 for me, something like that. I still don't know if I'm going to end up maxing this or not. We get pick number 4. We see CSU Ram in the 1 spot. Must be nice. Who else is in here with us? Fritzy Boys familiar. I don't know everybody's handles. Oh, my color scheme does not work. Let me see if I can fix that. It does not work on the DK one so well. I'll try to fix it real quick. Luckily, they give us a 14-minute countdown on DraftKings, so we have time. Where are my colors? Colors for player correlating with a quarterback. Let's go back to purple for this site. That is the best way to do this. All right, save it. Boom. That is all set. Let us refresh and hope that that fixes. I was doing yellow as a quarterback correlation over on Underdog and it looked good, but it does not work for this site at all. Both of the Michaels are in this chat. Mike Z is in the 2 spot. Mike M is in the 3 spot. So I know I am not going to have fun in the 4 spot. God, are we already frozen? What's happening here? Let's refresh. Uh-oh. What are we doing, DK? Okay, it's back up and running. All right, so I'm assuming we're going to see Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek go, is my guess, based on who is in this draft. Jefferson does go first. Jamar Chase goes second. And Tyreek goes third. I am shocked, for one. Just like completely shocked that that's the way that this went. All right, so we do see we have 10% Cup. We actually have 10% Kelsey in this tournament. That is shocking to me. How the hell do we have 12% ZMC? Interesting. Interesting. We'll grab Cup. All right, let's pull this board up. I'm going to have to gander into that 12% CMC because that doesn't seem right. I thought I've been fading him. Maybe just the way drafts have fallen on DK, I've had to grab him a bit more. So let's see. I'll let you guys know as I look it up. Christian McCaffrey. 11%. Yeah, 11% on Underdog. 8 teams. Looks like I need to update my players over here at my exposure list for DK. Got to remember to do that today. We'll take care of that. Yeah, like 5% on Underdog, so that makes a little bit more sense. It makes sense. I confirm that I am producing a show at 1 o'clock. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be maxing this $10. I keep saying that, but I'm getting aggressively closer to it. where I have like 86 entries or something like that at this point. So it's almost like just finish it. But I still have a bunch of higher stake stuff I want to do on DK. The $250 single entry is something I keep eyeballing to see where the fill rate is on that. And what else was I going to say? I still have $100 3 max bullet left, which we might do on or off stream. I haven't decided what I want to do there. I'm supposed to be firing a 5.55 with Daigle at some point. Should touch base with him about that. That probably won't be for a week or two. I don't know if I want to do a 5.55 solo on DK. So still figuring out what I want to do for the rest of the year. This is also a good point. Mike said with all the rewards are ranked back on DK, you basically pay for 110 drafts to get 150. Very true. There's a lot of rakebacks, a lot of rewards. I've been firing my crowns for a lot of these tournaments as well. We see Robert Warner go with the Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes stack here. We have Cup. We are coming up here. Let's grab Olave. We only have 5% Chris Olave. The thing is, we do grab him a lot with Cup for having a small percentage. We'll grab Olave. We'll just do it. So we have a question in the chat that says, do you worry about your exposure per site or combined across all sites? That's kind of player specific for me, because there are certain guys that I'm drafting on DraftKings that I'm not drafting on Underdog. So those players get exempt from that question, right? So when we're talking about Jahmyr Gibbs is a DK only guy for me. I'm not drafting him on Underdog. I just don't like the price point for him on Underdog with the role that I think he's going to have. But I think he's a perfect fit on DK with the full point PPR. And that's something that I take into consideration for that. Across sites, I guess it would be a no. I would say I don't care, but if something caught my attention for a specific player, I might check to see what I'm doing with them on the other site and try to see where I need to adjust that. I know it feels like sort of a cop-out answer, but I honestly am not worrying about it. The only time I worry about it is if I see somebody that I'm too low on, I will check the other site to see if I'm also low on them there, or if I'm too high, and I'll do that as well and see if I need to adjust, or if I'm just like, well, maybe I just like this guy better in this format or this price point or whatever. So that's the stuff that I'm looking at when I'm drafting. So we do see Taylor still on board, DK Metcalf. Andrews is on board. Do we want to do Ramondre? Do we want to just have fun? So you see I have 12% Jahmyr Gibbs. So I'm going to grab Gibbs, because even though I have 12% Gibbs, you can see that he's never lining up with the Cooper Kupp or my Chris Olave exposure. So do I like Stevenson better? Of course. But because I'm okay with drafting Jahmyr Gibbs in the third round, he's a third round pick on DK, I'm grabbing him here to offset the fact that I don't have Kupp with Jahmyr Gibbs at all. So those are things that I'm looking at for too. So we get a different exposure. Johnny says, yeah, so much fun drafting on DK. Same for me. Is it the same for me? Yeah, I think that the point structure, honestly, on DraftKings is the most fun in the industry. I think it gets overlooked a bit too much. I think talking about strategy for DK gets overlooked a bit. We are talking full point PPR, but we're also talking bonuses. And I think bonuses make DK a bit more fun. It's different. It's just not something you have on any of the other sites. But Drafters is also full point PPR if you like Drafters. But I have fun drafting on DK. And you'll see some wild stuff. I mean, we've seen a few drafts that should probably get thrown out, but when I say wild stuff, you'll just see people that take players a round or two ahead of ADP to get their stack or something, which is fine. I mean, that's people. We can't yell at people for drafting the way they want to draft as long as it's reasonable. When they're coming in and they're drafting Davis Mills in the first round, which is what I had the other night, clearly that's not reasonable. Clearly that's collusion with another player to try to set up a better team. But I saw, God, what was it, like Kirk Cousins in the sixth round the other day or something like that? Is that something I would do? No. But he had Justin Jefferson. He wanted to get his stack on the, and you got to let those players do that. To me, that's not collusion when the rest of the team's fine. So, point being, there is some wild shit that happens on DK, and we can exploit what we think we can exploit. We say that, and none of us are going to probably win. But we're damn sure going to try, and we're damn sure going to take our edges in trying to win. So, that's the way I look at it. But I do have fun on DraftKings. I will say I have more fun drafting on desktop on DraftKings. I like their draft board that we see here quite a bit better than I like the Underdog draft board. I think it's a smoother draft board, and I don't focus as much on DK drafts on my phone as I do Underdog drafts, so it's like an inverse there. Am I rambling? Probably. But maybe that makes sense for other people as well. All right, we are back on the clock at pick 45. We see Hopkins slide a few spots. Christian Kirk is also on board. See DJ Moore. What are you guys going to let me do? We're going to grab Fields. My Fields exposure is relatively low. Let's grab Justin Fields. We'll see which one of you dickheads ruins this for me. I'm sure one of you will. One of the Michaels. Don't even think about it. Just don't even consider it. CSU. CSU just grabbed Burrow. Is he auto drafting? Yeah, I do like the player picks as well. I'm giving you my poker stare right now. Just so you know. Ooh, Madison, spicy, like it. So we're going to grab DJ Moore to stack up with Justin Fields here. That was kind of what we were hoping for. So right now we have Justin Fields, Jahmyr Gibbs, Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, DJ Moore. I think that is a fun little team to start the draft. CSU double elite tight end. Yeah, he grabbed Allen. I think he's... Oh, maybe he didn't do... I didn't realize he had Higgins, so maybe that was an intentional double tap. You know I'm not going to knock double elite tight end. You know what I did the other night? You want to see something real fucking spicy? We went with 3 elite QBs the other night because I was like, I just want to see what it looks like. And we did it in a BBM. So it was a fun team. Like, do I think it's going to win? Of course not. But like I said in the Discord, if any of my teams do win Best Ball Mania, let it be the 3 elite QB build, just so I can watch everybody lose their minds. It would be amazing. I don't even remember who it was. I think it might have been... I know I ended it with Herbert, but I don't remember who else it was. But it was fun. Fun team. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll read it off for you guys. Since I have my draft IQ pulled up, I think I did upload my underdog teams yesterday. So, ooh, are we on the clock? Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the clock in the Mastiff. So we'll be recording that video probably directly after this. We are happy. We are very, very happy. All right. Cool. So the Mastiff will be recorded today. I'll either be dropping the Mastiff video tonight or tomorrow, depending on a few different things. We will be on the clock in a second here, though. Let's do that. Then we will look after our 2 picks. We'll go over our current team as it stands. And then, yeah. All right. Mike Evans goes. So Pickens is a guy that I have a lot more exposure on DK than I do over on DraftKings. I mean, over on Underdog. It's just kind of worked out that way a bit. I think we're going to grab him again. I kind of want another receiver here. It just kind of makes the most sense. Wide receivers a little light in this range on this draft. And then I have an idea of where I would like to go for my next pick. Sort of got another double elite QB build going here, which is going to make this draft real fun. People are going to start panicking at some point. We see Pitts. We see a little mini RB run here where CSU double taps Sanders and Pierce in the one hole. Dobbins comes back and gets tapped next. Then Pittman goes, and we are going to also grab a running back here. We're going to grab Kamara. Somebody, as soon as I heard that his charge was no longer a felony, I started grabbing more of. But I don't have enough. And with only a 3-game suspension, I do like Kamara here. He goes with my Boston accent just came out real hard. Did you guys hear that? Jesus Christ. I just went full departed Boston accent. That was scary. Is that something that happens as you get older? Does the Boston accent come out more? Whew. Terrifying. But I want more Kamara. I'm just shook. Sorry, I am shook. I am fucking shook. I've never had that happen on stream. Oh my god, that was terrifying. But yeah, I want more Kamara for sure. All right, let's see if I can find this team. I think it was Hurts and Herbert. It was in Best Ball Mania. Maybe it was Mahomes. Maybe it was Mahomes and Herbert. Found out I don't have any Herbert and okay, where are we? Oh baby, here it is. Here it is. So we have on this roster that I'm talking about, we have Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Justin Herbert. Running backs, A.J. Dillon, Samaje Perine, Khalil Herbert, Devin Singletary, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chase Brown. Wide receivers are Cooper Kupp, Drake London, Gabe Davis, Quentin Johnson, Traylon Burks, MVS, Taysom Hill, Dawson Knox, Hunter Henry. So that is a fun triple elite QB build. We will not be doing it again, but we wanted to fire one. Lucky had to go back and listen to my Boston accent come out. I'm not proud, is what I will say. Definitely not proud of that coming out the way that it did. Shall we go over our roster? All right, we shall. So we went Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Fields, DJ Moore, George Pickens, Alvin Kamara. Have that Justin Fields, DJ Moore stack, which is fun. Good times. If we wanted to, instead of Pickens, we could have gone Kyle Pitts for that bring back, but I'm kind of fine. Like I wanted to get more wideouts on this team, especially knowing that I was trying to get Kamara on the turnaround pick there. All right, we're back on the clock. Seems like an easy pick for me with Zay Flowers here. We're just going to confirm that that's what we want to do. Make sure there's nothing that I'm missing. Yeah, I think Zay Flowers is the easy pick here. Let's go ahead and grab him. Baltimore has become one of those teams that I am very much aware of trying to get myself one of the two receivers out, like one of the players in overall on the Ravens. But as we know what Mark Andrews' price is, and if I don't grab J.K. Dobbins, I am trying to grab Zay Flowers or Rashad Bateman at a heavy clip. So that's what I'm looking at. I did you a favor, Michael. I allowed you to get Rashad Bateman, who I actually like better, to be perfectly honest. But I'm trying to make sure I mix in Flowers a bit more. Personally. All right. What do we got? CSU. Okay, CSU auto drafting confirmed. I can't imagine that he would grab Daniel Jones at 8-12 after grabbing Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Will he grab another quarterback? Is it bad news? Are you guys going to go troll him on Twitter for grabbing 4 quarterbacks? Please. Please do. Please troll him excessively. Oh boy, CSU Ram. I am sorry that you ended up in a stream draft, but you are about to get trolled on Twitter. I feel it coming. If it makes you feel better, you took he's got it up now. He does have the green icon up now. All right, we are on the clock here. So we have 5 wideouts already. And I think this is the right time to be grabbing Kadarius Toney. So that's what we're going to do. As my 6th wide receiver. Totally cool with that. Actually like it quite a bit. Have a very certain situation I want to have happen for our next pick. And we'll see if we get it. We will see. Daryl has to drive to Ohio later to get more underdog draft exposures. Michigan? Do you live in Michigan? Are you a B. Kurt neighbor over there in Michigan? How long is the drive for you to go do your to make sure that you go get your underdog stuff? And what would be if you guys had to drive to a state to fire underdog drafts, what is the furthest you would drive hours wise to make that happen? Is my question. And my other question, specifically to Daryl, when you get there and you register for your drafts, are you firing quite a few fast drafts? Because I think B. Kurt had the right play where I think he sat in a Dairy Queen or something like that and grabbed like a little lunch or a dessert, fired a fast draft or 2 while he registered for his slows. Probably the way to do it. Oh, so only an hour? Yeah, an hour is fine. I used to not quite an hour, but last year when I wanted to place NFL bets, we didn't have sports betting in Mass yet. I had to drive to Rhode Island. It was like a 35-minute drive. Actually, I'll talk about this after I get my next two picks. Let's see what we got coming up. What I wanted is still there. So I think, there's actually, we're doing a lot of weird things with our voice today. I apologize for audio listeners. All right, so we see Gino go. So what I wanted to do for this particular team was I wanted to draft Devon A-Chain, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to press the button. Another weird guy here that we're drafting with this team. I have 16% A-Chain, which is quite a bit, right? 0% with Cooper Kupp, 0% with Chris Olave. So we're going to go ahead and press the button now. We're going to grab A-Chain. Then we're going to have a decision to make at our next two picks because of something that's happening. So maybe we won't. Maybe we just. I wanted Charbonnet. That was my number one guy on this next pick, but he ends up going to CSU Ram. So what we're going to have to discuss as I let the clock tick down, I don't think I'm really in any danger of getting sniped on this by a long shot. But if we scroll down just a little bit, pick 136 is Derek Carr. We did see CSU Ram grab two elites. He also auto-drafted two more quarterbacks. So this quarterback room is going to end up being different. So I think that bumps up the value of the quarterbacks. And I think I am going to grab Derek Carr now to complete this double stack for my Saints. I just think it's the right play here. So again, we have CSU with 4 quarterbacks in the one spot. The guy behind us just took another quarterback with Russell Wilson to get 3 quarterbacks. We still have one guy with 0 QBs. I just think that this was the play here based on what others might do. People might get scared. We might not even get Carr coming back. Do I love it? No, not at all. I don't think this is going to happen, Michael. He says he has a feeling that Jamal is going to outdo Kamara. I just think you're going to see a committee, and I think, yeah, maybe he gets some of the short work, but Jamal is not going to do what he did last year. And I'm still grabbing him a little bit. Not as much anymore with the Kamara news. I think it's going to be fine. So the story I wanted to tell was because I entered the Mastiff. So we do have Underdog, obviously, here in Massachusetts, but we have very strict deposit limits versus other states. Like every DFS site, you are limited to $1,000 deposits for a month. And some sites that is like August or it's a rolling month. It gets real confusing trying to figure out which site does what. And that's not the site's fault. That is Massachusetts' fault. And you can bump that up to $2,500. But I still hit that limit because I've been firing all my BBM teams since I got back from Vegas. So I thought if I drove to Rhode Island, I could deposit based on their state limits, which is not true. You are held to your own state's limits for some reason, even though those of you in Michigan can cross the border and deposit, even though it's not allowed in your state. It's all very confusing. Point being, drove over the state line. The very first thing over the state line is a small little casino. And we are back on the clock. That went very quickly. Do we want to just continue? Let's grab Dulcich. I'd like to get my Dulcich exposure up anyways. So let's grab him as a tight end. So right now we are rocking a 2-3-6-1 build. It's going to be an interesting pick coming up here for us. Can't believe I didn't finish that story. While we're waiting, Michael says it felt good getting Lamar and then Anthony Richardson after ADP in a QB room like this. Yeah, that's impressive. This is a scary, scary room for the quarterbacks based on what is happening around us. Alec Pierce goes. What do we want to do here? So I was looking at Warren. But I'm also looking at Cole Kmet. I'm just so low on Kmet, like in terms of exposure. It kind of makes sense. I think I'm going to grab Jalen Warren. I think that we'll just make a bet on Pittsburgh to have a somewhat competent offense. So I get to this casino. I try to deposit. I can't. I ended up having to fill out paperwork to get my deposit limit bumped up. But while we were at the casino, we won another $2,000. It's great. I played some 3-card poker, hit 3 of a kind, and then hit a slot machine for some money. So it's been a good little month for gambling, to say the least. We've enjoyed it. Change the song here. So I'm actually shocked that it took this long for this little quarterback run to happen. I thought this was going to happen in the 12th round. Happens the 13th. We see 5 out of 6 picks go QB. From the middle of the 13th, it goes Pickett, Love, Stafford, Purdy, Kyler Murray. Hodgins was mixed in between Purdy and Murray there. But that was kind of the point we were making. There is still a guy that is sitting here with just 2 guys sitting here with 1 QB. One of them has Mahomes, so like worst case scenario, you still have the best quarterback in the league. The other guy just grabbed Jordan Love. So he really is going to get locked out at QB probably. I mean, the guy in front of him had 1 QB, just grabs Bryce Young. It becomes a mess when you push it on DK. DK is just such a different animal when it comes to the quarterback position. And we're talking about bonuses and stuff. And that's why I think that some of these elite QBs are worth more on DK. We are back on the clock here in a second. So we could grab Irv Smith for a bring back. Could keep building out our running back core. Another wide receiver wouldn't hurt. So we have a lot of options here. I just like Gainwell a ton. And I think I'm going to grab Gainwell. I think that's going to be my play here. I kind of know what I want to do with my next pick already, which is why I grabbed Gainwell where I grabbed him. Get it, Daryl. So Craps is a game that I have never played. I understand the basic concepts, but it's one of those games that when I was younger, I was a little intimidated to play because I didn't want to screw up. So I never took the initiative to actually stand there and try to figure it out. I know like basic concepts of it, but I still wouldn't be comfortable. I'd have to I'd have to go to a table where there's not a lot of people and feel like I can get a chance to learn. That is something that I do not like about casinos is how many people are unwelcoming to new people that are trying to learn how to play a game. It's the worst with blackjack. Like if you sit at a table and you don't know what you're doing at blackjack and you're trying to learn, a lot of the time the people at the table are complete dickheads and the dealer can even be an asshole sometimes and you're just like this person's trying to learn. Don't you want them to, especially to the dealer, like don't you want more people to learn how to play this game so that you can potentially make more money at the casino? It's always been like kind of mind-blowing to me, to be perfectly honest. This is a great idea, Michael, where they run learning games. That's very good stuff from those casinos. They should definitely do it more. The player that makes the absolute most sense for this team is Jalen Hyatt. We have 23% of him over here on DK. I told you I was drafting him at a high clip. But we have a New Orleans, Philly, and Rams bring back for all of the stuff. So Jalen Hyatt it is as our 7th wide receiver. My mom used to go to the casino and she won't sit at table games because she sat one time and they weren't even yelling at her. They were yelling at someone else at the table. And she's like, I just get too nervous. I cannot sit at a table game. Which is sad to make people just go to a place that they're supposed to have fun and just make it just an unenjoyable experience. You know, if it's a drunk guy blatantly fucking the table up, that's a different story. But people that are trying to learn, it's with best ball too. I hate when we get a new person that comes into the Discord or one of the chats and they ask a basic question and people jump on. I'm like, how do you not know this? It's like, dude, people are learning. Respect the people that are asking questions. I feel like I'm getting on a freaking soapbox here, but it's just shit that drives me crazy. I just never understand when you're part of something. I think it stems from poker more than anything. Because poker, the gatekeeping on poker, and the gatekeeping on poker by bad players is unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. It just blows my mind. Poker is probably the worst offender of it, to be perfectly honest. But I watch bad players just like try to criticize or make fun of new players, and I'm like, you're opening at 4x under the gun +2 every time you open. Like it's not fucking 1979, and you're making fun of this guy who asked a simple question. You don't even know how to open. Fuck out of here. And also, I do that at the table. If somebody is a dick like that to a new player, I will absolutely roast them at the table because I don't care. Oh, I haven't heard that term. That's a good one though. Bullfrogs. So kudos to this Jordan Love guy that drafted Jordan Love with his first QB. Does manage to get Tannehill and Mac Jones late. So found his way out of it, but it was a scary QB room. We are back on the clock. Roshan might be a fun pick here to get a second Chicago Bear. Bear? What the fuck? What are words? What are words today? Can someone explain it to me? What I'm doing with the English language? We're going to grab Roshan Johnson. Then we'll go over our team after our next pick. What we are currently sitting on is a 2-6-7-1 build, which is fun. For curiosity purposes, QBs that are left are Desmond Ridder, Baker Mayfield. Then we get into Trey Lance, Simeon, Tom Brady, who has a higher ADP than players like Gardner Minshew and Mike White, which is always interesting. So yeah, Heineke's ADP should theoretically be higher. It's Huntley should be higher. If people are drafting backup QBs, those are guys that should be going a bit above where they are. Interesting. I don't know when CSU came back, but I don't know if it was during this 3 tight end run. Just got 3 running backs right now, which are Sanders, PS, and Charbonnet. I just lost an R on that word too. We are turning into something here. We are morphing into the Boston accent live on stream, and I am not thrilled about it. We're not thrilled one bit. It makes sense. It makes sense. Let's grab Ferguson again. Grab our second tight end. Michael has the full Ravens stack, so he has Lamar, J.K. Dobbins, Rashad Bateman, and Isaiah Likely. That's fun. We have drafted Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Fields, DJ Moore, George Pickens, Alvin Kamara, Zay Flowers, Kadarius Toney, Devon Achane, Derek Carr, Greg Dulcich, Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Hyatt, Roshan Johnson, and Jake Ferguson. So playoff stacks that we have are limited right now. It's Rams, Giants with Cooper Kupp and Jalen Hyatt, Detroit, Dallas, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jake Ferguson, Miami, and Baltimore with Achane and Zay Flowers. But fear not, we still have 3 picks left to flesh this team out a little bit. And we have ideas. We have a few ideas, and then I am going to watch another episode of Twisted Metal. Is it a good show? No. But is it a fun show? Yes. And if you played the Twisted Metal games as a kid, just like a nostalgia thing. I like the spin they put on it. They couldn't actually follow the games, verbatim. Exactly, Michael. Michael says it's a popcorn show. It's little 30-minute episodes, which is perfect for me because I just, especially in August, just don't have a ton of time. So in between doing this and stuff, we'll finish up an episode. It's a perfect popcorn show. Well said. What I did start a few months ago that I was really enjoying was Deadwood, but I got so wrapped up in everything else that I haven't watched an episode in literally like 2 or 3 months, and I need to get back on board with that, but it's going to be a little bit. Okay, we are back on the clock here. Oh, we're not drafting Cordell Patterson. That's not a thing I'm doing. Let's grab George. Ah, man, am I going to be able to do what I want to do here? Shit. We should have done this a different way. We're going to really be pushing it, but we're going to try it. We're going to have 9 wide receivers on this team, I believe. A little bit of a spoiler. This would also be a team that I would typically like to grab another. Probably should have grabbed another RB. Maybe I still grab another RB. Do I want to grab another RB? Oh, you son of a bitch. We were grabbing Mac Hollins. That was the play. That's why I said I should have grabbed him first. We're going to grab Kareem Hunt. That's going to be... We're going to grab CEH because I'm looking for somebody that has potential to week 1 points. So we're going to grab CEH. Just because I do like this running back room a lot, but with Kamara suspended, and then a bunch of week 1 question marks with A-Chain, Warren, Gainwell, Johnson. At least Clyde has a shot to score some points week 1. That's what we're going to do. No, that's fair. I mean, look, I knew I should have grabbed him beforehand. I knew that was the mistake. 'Twas the mistake. Not a huge deal for me. I'm fine with my wide receiver room as is. To be perfectly honest, I don't think I absolutely needed a Chicago bring back. But if he was there, we would have grabbed him. 'Tis fine. 'Tis fine. Daryl says that he loves the Sunday content. Thanks, dude. Yeah. No problem at all. We will be doing this probably every Sunday until the NFL season kicks off. So you can catch us doing drafts. Well, catch me doing drafts, I guess. This is sort of my thing. But if there's, for some reason, I'm not here, I will coordinate with Eric to figure out someone to do it. Also, don't forget there is a giveaway. Oh my God, it's next week. Next Sunday, we are giving away an authentic Kurt Warner signed Arizona Cardinals helmet. If you're not in the Discord, jump in the Discord, go to the giveaway section. It literally will take you less than a minute to do what you have to do to enter the giveaway. I will shout out the giveaway section tomorrow on Discord to remind everybody that it is coming up. So let's jump in there and do that. We see Kyle Trask go. We see Mills go in the 20th as well. So from what I was reading, there's a quote unquote competition at Tampa camp, but supposedly Baker is just like head and shoulders above Kyle Trask. And if that's the case, that means Kyle Trask is not good at football. I was going to do the Kyle Trash joke, but I'm sure it's been made a million times, so I didn't want to step on that joke that's been done to death. Did I just tip my pick? I did. We did tip our pick. Ooh, he did grab a Tampa guy too. We're going to grab Cade Otton as our third tight end just for a New Orleans bring back here. We needed a third tight end anyways. And our team is complete. So we do get that. We do get a couple more playoff stuff going on here. Let's go over our team. We went Justin Fields, Jahmyr Gibbs, Alvin Kamara, Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, DJ Moore, Greg Dulcich, George Pickens, Zay Flowers, Kadarius Toney, Devon A-Chain, Derek Carr, Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Hyatt, Roshan Johnson, Jake Ferguson, Greg Dortch, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cade Otton for a 2-7-8-3 build. Think it's kind of fun. We have a New Orleans Tampa stack, Derek Carr, Kamara, Chris Olave with Cade Otton as a comeback. We have the Rams Giants, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Hyatt, Detroit Dallas, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jake Ferguson, Miami Baltimore, Devon A-Chain, Zay Flowers, and Arizona Philly with Kenneth Gainwell and Greg Dortch. Overall, a bit of a fun team. So that is going to do it for this final draft. We did 2 today. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, whatever you can do to help the channel so that we get more eyeballs, so we can continue to do Sunday content, all of that fun stuff until tomorrow night. when I will be live with Eric at 7. Most likely, we will catch you next time. What I'm going to do first, though, because I learned a little trick, is StreamYard does not kill the music when you start running your outro video, which is real weird. But we will catch you later. Peace. Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on. We draft a team. Boom. You know about it. We have another spicy take. Boom. You know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right. We'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.